welcome back to another episode of It's Okay Not to Be Okay. Um, in this episode today, we are talking about something that I know is very meaningful to different people. Well, actually affects a lot of people, including myself, people you talk to every day. Um, we're going to be talking about the difference between people pleasing and being kind. It is something that not a lot of people know the difference between. They don't know when to stop, how to build boundaries with it. It can affect people in their daily lives. And again, we have our expert, Dr. Roshan Bukhsani, helping us out, answer some questions, how to build better boundaries, how to feel better with it, and to distinguish the difference between the two. How are you today, Dr. Bukhsani?
I am good, Amanda. Um, I really liked the topic that you picked for today. I have a lot of clients who, you know, who are in the same conundrum, right? And I'm sure people who are listening definitely will resonate to this. So yes, let's go. I am ready for all your questions.
Perfect, perfect. Okay. I mean, I assume the biggest one would be to help clarify would be what's the difference between people pleasing and just simply being kind?
Right. So I think it's the feeling that's different, right? So when you're trying to do something for somebody because they need help, you're trying to help someone out, and it's coming from a place of compassion, or it's coming from a place of empathy. That okay, you know what, I want to be able to help this person out. Then that's kindness, right? Like you are. It's coming from a compassionate place. What happens with people pleasing is it really comes from a place of fear, right? It's the motivator is fear, and it could be the fear of being alone, the fear of nobody's this person's not going to like me if I don't continue doing this. So it's really guided. Your actions in that case are guided a lot by fear versus just the pleasure of okay, I'm just going to do what I need to do for this person.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. Not a lot of people care what other people think, especially loved ones and people that are so close, or even strangers that they meet on the street.
Correct.
I
And
mean,
here's the thing, there's a difference, Amanda, between caring what, I mean, as human beings and as living in a society, we do care about what other people think, right? And that's not a bad thing. But if I am so scared that I cannot be my authentic self because I need to cater to this person, that's when we know it comes from a place more of fear and trauma, attachment, all of those things, which I'm sure we'll dive a little into.
I mean,
Now I've opened a can of worms.
right. I mean, is there any specific way that somebody can tell in the moment what they're doing?
I think you have to check in with your system.
Right.
So, mindfulness is a very big thing. And again, it's, one of those TikTok words, right? Oh, everybody wants to be mindful. But really, a person who's mindful is just a person who's aware of themselves, of their feelings, of what they're going through, non-judgment. So it's important to be able to ask yourself that, okay, why am I doing this, right? So if I'm saying yes to something that I actually want to say no to, where is that coming from? So
Right.
I have to do the check-in with myself to be able to get the answer. Now, in the moment itself, you might have more of a sensory reaction. So if you can, check in with your body, right? Because if I'm feeling anxious over saying no to someone, okay, that's a problem, right? Then it's coming from a place of fear. So the best way is to be able to check in with your system, your nervous system, and see how you feel about whatever it is that the other person's asking you to do.
Right. That makes so much sense. I mean, at the end of the day, there's always going to be stuff that you don't want to do. But again, caring for other people's thoughts, I know it plays heavily into a lot of people's lives.
Absolutely.
Is there a certain way that you think some people can unlearn those habits without feeling like they're letting somebody down, or just not feeling selfish or guilty in a way?
I think you have to turn it around, right? So I think the unlearning will come as a result of you actually awarding that compassion to yourself. right? So if I want to, when I start living from self, then I have the confidence and the courage and the clarity to
Mhm.
understand where something is coming from, and then the confidence to be able to say, no, I don't want to do that, or I'm too tired, right? So if your friend calls you up and says, hey, Amanda, let's go out for dinner, and you're really tired, right? The ability to be able to at that moment say, no, I really need to take care of me because I'm
Right.
tired, right? So it's that shift to that I need to take care of me, and I need to award myself that compassion, and I need to be able to move in my journey of growth to function from self, which we often don't, because we function from our fears or the protective parts, right? So if I'm not, there's a fear, that means I like, because of my experiences, there's some protective parts that are really holding on and saying, don't say no, don't say no, because you know what, you're going to be alone, or you're going to be abandoned, or they're not going to like you, or you're not going to get love if you don't say yes to everything. So those are the protective the parts of me. Now somewhere underneath that is self. So once I heal those protective parts, then I can function from self, and then it becomes easier for me to be able to say, no, I'm good, I'll see you tomorrow, like, to my
Right.
friend.
I mean, okay, in that sense of, let's say when they finally start feeling the self-confidence, the self-love, and being able to say no, do you have, is there a way that they can practice setting boundaries with other people, or maybe um yeah, like setting boundaries with other people, with loved ones, while still showing, because I feel like a lot, at least with me,
Yeah,
it's people pleasing in the sense of I feel bad, like having that sort of empathy towards people.
yeah,
So I want to say no, but it's like, okay, how can I do it without, with still sounding like I still love you? There's
yeah,
still compassion. There's still,
of course, and exactly that, right? Okay, so let's clarify something, right? Because you said, when I don't do something for someone, I feel bad, right? Now you're associating that feeling bad to do with the other person. Like, oh, I'm feeling bad because the other person is going to be let down. Here's a theory that I'm going to propose to you. I don't think that's what's happening. I think what's happening is that there is a fear that you have within, that's telling you, don't do that, Amanda, because that person may not like you if you do that, right? So again, first part is to work on some of those protective parts that are, because most people who are your friends, so that, let's go back to the friend example. If the friend asks you, let's go out for dinner, and you genuinely are tired, and you tell your friend, I'm really tired today, can we do it some other time? What do you think realistically the friend is going to say?
okay, like I don't think.
Right? What would you say if you were in that situation and somebody told you that, a friend told you that, hey, Amanda, I'm really tired today, can we do it another day? What would,
Right. I mean, it would be like the no judgment, the okay.
there you go. And most people are like that. And that's why I'm saying this is really more about me than it is about the other person, right? So, but can we say it in a nicer way? Remember, 97% of communication is tone and body language, right? So if I can communicate to my friend or to somebody that, you know what, I would really love to go out for dinner, but I'm just so tired from the week. Can we plan for another day? I don't know too many people who will not understand that.
That is
And
true.
especially their friends.
Right. Yeah, that is absolutely true. I mean, but I feel like in the moment there's never like a huge rational thinking going on. It's okay, sure, you never
Like, how do I
putting
let
yourself
this person
right.
down? But again, it's not about letting the person down, because the person probably couldn't care less. They're like, sure, we'll do
Right.
it another day. Great, I'll save some money, and especially in the economy that we're in now. It's like, okay, yes, let's do that. But for me, it becomes, again, something that comes from a place of fear, that am I not, is this person going to be upset with me? Are they not going to accept me? Are they going to be are they not going to, love and care about me? So that's where it's coming from. And that's why healing me to be able to function from self is very important for me to get to that place where I can say, nah, she's not going to hate me, or she's not going to, she's still going to accept me, and it's okay.
Right. Right. I mean, and then in that sense, again, stemming from the self-love, the self-confidence, do you have some maybe advice or recommendation to somebody that can help rebuild their confidence from whatever, or self-worth, after like realizing, hey, okay, this is pushing a little bit too much into people pleasing territory?
Yes.
Like,
So I think first we need to, so a little sort of exercise that I do with my clients when I want to find out, or if they want to find out, right, like what's going on here is, I kind of make them write down, like, what are some things that you say no to, but you want to say yes to, right? Like, because that can happen too, right? Like, I want to go somewhere, but I don't want to disappoint maybe I don't want to disappoint a parent, and so I'm going to not do what I really want because, so write that down. Then write down, what do you say yes to that you want to say no to, right? And then what are some of those underlying fears that you have for not doing that, right? So when you say yes to something that you want to say no, where is that coming from? What are some of these underlying fears? Once we establish those underlying fears, then starts the work on myself, right? Trying to heal those parts that hold those fears.
right.
And again, I'm a fan of IFS, so my go-to is always going to be IFS, and Richard Schwartz's book, No Bad Parts, is amazing to start doing some work on yourself, to be able to, once you've identified these fears, then to go in and heal those parts that are carrying these fears, so that you can start living from self. Because people are never going to have confidence unless you are functioning from self. So you have to have that peace first. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Because if I don't get to that place, like, there's no shortcut to this, right? So I can't say, oh, let's do positive affirmations and let's start telling myself how good I am. Yeah, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. For anybody who's tried that, and they'll sit in front of the mirror and keep telling themselves how good they are, and they will go out and they'll still feel this way they feel because they haven't healed. Right. So you really do have to, that step is very important. And once I start living from self, automatically I'm confident.
That makes so much sense. I can definitely see the connection between the self-love, the self-confidence, the healing, and then trying not to constantly having to literally people please all the time.
Absolutely.
Because at that point, it's kind of like you don't need the
validation,
right, from other people that you
correct, because
have been seeking.
Self. See, the journey of healing has nothing to do with people on the outside, right?
Right.
So the journey of healing is me, and again, I'm going back to IFS, but the journey of healing in IFS is offering that compassion to yourself,
right?
Knowing that doesn't matter what happens outside, I am going to be there for me. So that's a huge thing when I am walking down the path of developing that confidence.
Yeah, and I can definitely see why, because at some point, yeah, it is a huge thing of, I just need this validation to feel loved by other people, compared to, okay, I don't need it in order to love myself, which I think a lot of people, maybe even like towards younger generations, like have confused between self-confidence, self-love, and then just having that validation to feel it.
A recent study done, it was done in India, and what they found is the people who are most depressed are, now in India it's not the younger generation, but it's women, middle-aged women. They are extremely depressed, and I'll tell you why. Because when you think of culture and society and boys versus girls, remember, girls are kind of schooled to give in to, okay, but what do you mean you want to do something? But have you taken care of everybody else in your family, right? So,
Right.
and then those girls, when they become women, and then now they're middle age, they're like, okay, what about me, right? So then seeps into depression because you've never actually given to yourself, you've just given to everybody else. So that becomes so much a part of you. So absolutely, I feel like, from every angle, to be able to heal those parts, like, even if it's coming from those legacy burdens that we're carrying, maybe it's not trauma, maybe it's because I saw my mom do it and I saw my mom's mom do
Right.
it, and I just learned that that's the way I have to do it. So we're carrying those legacy burdens with us, and unless I heal from those legacy burdens, unless I release those legacy burdens, it's hard to be confident and say, you know what, it's okay. You may not like me if I do this, but I'm still going to do it because
Right.
I love me.
Yeah, no, that absolutely makes sense. And I'm super, super happy that we were able to talk about this topic and help some of the viewers here, or maybe even some of your clients watching, some of the clients here watching. Personally, I love this topic just because, again, it's kindness versus people pleasing. I mean, this isn't obviously justifying to start, hey, don't be kind anymore. We still,
Absolutely.
we absolutely,
Right. But do it for the right reasons is
right.
that's really
Like,
what it is.
and I think that's why it was important. One of the questions was, how can I say no while still offering that compassion and warmth? The, hey, I'm sorry, but no, instead of just, blatantly no.
Absolutely.
But I loved this episode. I love this topic, and I thank you so, so much for clarifying so many different questions that I know a million different people have, and like letting these people know that, okay, you can be kind and still,
Take care of
like,
yourself.
still be kind, right? And having that self-respect.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, they work hand in hand at this point. But
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah, that's all for today. Thank you so much.
No, thank you for bringing up something that is really so important for people to understand. And, hopefully this episode will inspire some people to go on their journey of healing. And of course, I look forward to the next time with all your other questions.